beautiful building at 210 North McKellar Street. And we have just returned from being away from here several weeks where we were doing a pop-up store at Intercity Shopping Center. And I was doing regular updates and videos from there, but away from our in-store studio. You'll recognize the backdrop and the horizontal picture that I'm able to do here at our store. So it is a Thursday evening, and we just put this up. It is a Thursday evening, and I have gotten away from doing the regular Shop with Diane show, and but wanted to always come into the Thursday 7 o'clock time slot just to say hello to everyone. And I haven't done much promotion of this evening's show. But that is because I'm still trying to get my land legs after the journey that we have been on. So I know that a few of you have already tuned in, and thank you, Tracy, saying welcome home. It sure does feel like home here. I love the backdrop. I love the surroundings of this building, and we have just done an incredible job, the whole group of us. And I'd like to acknowledge those people that helped make the last couple of months possible, and quite a thrilling experience for us. So if you are watching, please say hello in the comment section, and it's always good to know who is joining us. As I said, we haven't given people much notice of this evening's pop-up. Pop-up here on Facebook Live and the Shop with Diane YouTube channel. Usually for these shows, I have more recently been having a musical interlude as a warm-up to the show, but that takes a little bit of technological work, and I seem to have forgotten some of it. So we have Tracy and Aletha and my mom, Elsie, saying hello to everyone. So if you remember how to do this, remember to press the share button, and that'll let others know to join in as well. So and comment in the comment section. So we, as I said previously, we have a bit of a warm up, allowing people a chance to gather, competing with the beautiful weather, I think, that some of you have gotten to enjoy. I'm still in that catch-up mode where I've left this great location and left a lot of the paperwork behind, and spent the day today trying to get caught up, at least a bit of it completed. So people always know too that they can watch the repeat of this at any time. It is available 24/7. So welcome to those of you who are joining us now. So yes, it's Thursday night, 7 o'clock in the Shop with Diane time slot, which come early May, this will be 3 years of doing this. And we have built a lovely community of people. And I think that's what has really been the highlight of the pandemic and the last few years, is the coming together of a lovely community. And I see more during the live show. There is a counter at the top if you're watching on Facebook, and it tells us how many people are tuned in. Now, those are how many tablets and phones and Facebook accounts have tuned in. It doesn't mean that there's just one person watching. And I have learned over the years that this does pull together couples and families as well. So that's been a delight. So welcome to all of you for getting together this evening for the Shop with Diane update in terms of what's been happening. So unless you have been away and you haven't heard, we recently did a pop-up store at Intercity Shopping Center, where we got this space on February 1st. January 31st, the day before, I was just returning that evening from a Toronto gift show. So January 31st was our fiscal year end, but got the keys to a space at Intercity Shopping Center, which needed some work. And thank you to Mark, who I've called upon many times when I've been doing projects that involved some construction skills and ability. And so Mark jumped in there right away, February 1st, and started to paint away the purple that was in there and cover up some of the cosmetic challenges that the previous tenants left behind, and built two really awesome change rooms. So that has what got complete. I'm just going to turning my eye to the comment section in the live show, just acknowledging that we have Tracy, Aletha, my mom Elsie, Linda saying hello, Debbie as well, and Smokey, who we know as Lydia, and she's so hot. Well, you're smoking hot there, Smokey GR, because Lydia, who helped out in the past year with our liquidation here at the store, but also at the pop-up, and is in Mexico right now. So great to have you join us. And Mary is there as well. So it got a little distracted there. So that was a few days of giving Mark a chance to get some painting done in the construction of the change rooms. And the movers moved us in February 3rd with all the stuff from our store here. Oh my goodness. And we had to get it set up and everything in place. Or was it February 5th, the movers? No, it was February. It was February. And we were able to recruit a number of our viewers who have become our friends to help with the staffing. So we pulled a group together, and on the evening of February 8th and the 9th, we were open. And who did we have helping on the store floor at the pop-up were people like Debbie, who's Deb Gavora, and Heather Miller, Lydia was joining us, and Glenda, Ivana, Eleanor, Beverly, Tracy, Aletha, and some volunteer help from Kelly as well. That's like 10 of us, I think, 10 including me, who needed to be there to cover the hours, the 61 hours that the mall is open. So there we were right next to the body shop. When our Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the hours were 10 till 7, and Thursday, Friday, 10 till 8, Saturday, 10 till 6, and Sunday, 11 to 5. And because our computer system for bringing people through does require a considerable amount of training, and there wasn't training time available, I needed to be there at all those 61 hours a week. Plus get there a little earlier and stay a little later. But that just got me into the pace of what I used to do pre-pandemic. And my big worry was, after all of us found kind of a new balance through the pandemic, could I get myself into those hours again? And you know what? It was a test, and I'm delighted to think that I passed that test. And the whole experience has invigorated me. I feel great having done that, taken on that challenge, and succeeded at it, and being back here again. So big thanks to Mark, who helped us get set up, as well as taking down that change room and carrying things off there. Also, we were supported by some of the people that worked in the mall and some of the other merchants. And I'd like to give a shout out to Anna Morrow, who has been doing pop-ups, different stores during the holiday seasons, as well as some permanent stores in the mall. She has a company Northwest in the mall, and her son Jade and one of her employees, Michael, were just wonderful in terms of welcoming us and being there should we have needed any assistance. So much appreciated. But Anna's support has been coming from where she's been in Mexico, but regularly checking in with me, and really appreciated that, as well as met a number of the other people working in the mall, and people like Chris at the Bootlegger, who popped by regularly and often with treats for us. That was just wonderful. Um, but most importantly, all of you who made a point of getting into that pop-up. And it was great to see you again. It has been a while. It's been a while since many of us did even get to Intercity Shopping Center. I think probably I could count on half a hand the number of times I've been into the mall in the last probably 10 years. But I think it is a just desperately needing, it's a community there, but it is desperately in need of putting a face to what happens there. And a lot does go on, and a lot of good things go on, and interesting things go on. But from the exterior of the mall, you wouldn't know it. And from maybe some of the billboards around town, you wouldn't know it. But having been in there and with my phone and videotaping and giving updates, I think you've seen a different side of the mall. That it is definitely a community of really wonderful people there. So you never know, maybe I'll pop back up with a different theme, different format for a short period of time. Don't know, but it's been really interesting experiencing that. As well, um, uh, it was really great to meet people who watched this show. I was amazed at how many people who I've never met before, I don't recall meeting before, coming in and said, "Oh yes, I watch you all the time on the show. You're delightful. I love you." And it's like, wow. So taking us over there to the mall and making ourselves more readily available to people really did give me some great feedback in terms of the popularity and the importance that the show plays in people's lives and making them feel as part of community. So that was just a wonderful experience. And if you did hear me before say, oh my goodness, it was being at the mall was reminding me of our earlier years in the business. So my store started in 1996, and for 14 years we were on the corner of Brodie Street and Victoria Avenue. And back then we sold clothing and footwear and camp and cottage gifts and kayaks and camping equipment and nature-inspired children's toys. It was the best place to go Christmas shopping. People would bring the entire family by, and we would just be so engaged with showing all sorts of products. But over the years, younger shoppers, teenage shoppers, preferred to shop online and would, rather than presents, wanted money for Christmas gifts. And so the demographic that we started to serve changed, as you know. And pretty much what started as a business that targeted women 30 plus in age and their families, that was sort of our target group, pretty much evolved into being women 50 plus as people stopped participating in outdoor activities like they used to, and as people did more online shopping and less in-store shopping, especially younger people, we kind of just lost some of that fun. Not that you gals aren't fun, but there's nothing better than having the little ones by and teenagers and interacting and being part of the village that raises children. And that's what I really enjoyed. That's what I got to experience at the mall. People of all ages who I realized I was starting to feel over the last number of years that people like me who thought we had so much to offer the village were kind of seen as irrelevant and really not having, well, any relevancy to people's lives anymore, but putting us back into that environment where we were able to interact with families and people of all ages was so much fun. And I have so many wonderful memories of that. But when you've talked to a couple of young people who are 14, 15 years of age, and only to have them return a few days later with other family members, just so that they too can have a conversation and uh, be inspired that way. And just I remember a 9-year-old girl that I'd spoken with. Oh my gosh, both her and her brother were. She was 9, I believe. Her brother 11 were shopping with their mom, looking for a gift for grandma, and my time to bring out the puppets and interact with kids and oh, at the checkout counter, the little one said to me, "Oh my gosh, you have so inspired me." And I said, "Oh, um, thank you." And then in a louder voice, she said, "You have changed my life." I'm going, well, oh my goodness. So I go down like this and said, "Now, how is it that I inspired you?" And she said, "Well, you have encouraged me to follow my passion." And I said, "Your passion? Now that's interesting. Now tell me, what is your passion?" And she said, her passion is to bring back the 80s, because that's when shopping used to be fun, when people would come and interact and talk, and so you have so inspired me. Well, this young lady and I just might do a live show in the future, because she is such an entertaining delight, and that's just part of just having creating a situation where young people can interact with us and we can make a huge difference. So for me, that has just totally reinvigorated me, knowing that I'm relevant. We're all relevant. We just need to be in settings where we can interact. And yes, many of these young people are old souls, as I describe them, and really interested and desperate to make connections with people who are older. And yes, gals, with age comes wisdom and wiser. So that was certainly a delight for me. There's so many positive experiences there. And I'd like to thank all of you who did follow our Facebook posts and videos, liked and shared. Oh my goodness. If nothing else, we had demonstrated how we can dominate um, in a positive way what happens on Facebook. So all those likes, all those shares, all those comments that you offered, and so thoughtful. And I so much appreciate your encouragement and support by doing what you do really well, and that is being part of our Take a Hike and Take Two boutique community of lovely people. I talked about you with everybody. I spoke about how this group is just so heart-centered, so kind, so appreciative, such a talented group of intelligent people who come together, and we just feel that we, in these days where our social connections have fallen apart, perhaps the groups that we used to belong to, people we'd get together with, that's all changed through the pandemic. And it's time for us to rebuild and connect with like-minded individuals. And I am so proud and so delighted to be part of your community of people like this. Now, one of the highlights, there's so many highlights, but one was meeting women from who have recently come to Thunder Bay from Ukraine, where you're aware, I'm sure by now, that thanks to a supporter and our participation, as well as some donations that came forward through this initiative from some of you, financial donations, what we were able to do is put the word out that all we wanted for these women to do was to come to the store and experience some shopping for themselves, where they could select a outfit at no cost. And this is something that I was thinking that I'd love to do, but if it wasn't for a sponsor also stepping up and saying, let's do it, it wouldn't have happened. But I just put my thought into what it might have been like if it was me who needed to leave with very little notice with a day bag, leaving behind a business, a career, a home, a family, and start over in a new country where language was the language spoken wasn't my first language, and the worries that I would have had and how that would have been. And the women who we saw pictures of families and children, but with us carrying women's clothing, I thought to myself, I know the importance of clothing in terms of how it makes us feel, and uh, how it makes us feel, and how we are seen. And um, what this experience has got me to understand, well, first of all, there were 15 women that we were able to make contact with. I met 6 children and 3 gentlemen, husbands. So that would have been 24 people who have recently come to Thunder Bay from Ukraine, had the pleasure of getting to meet. And they came not by just themselves, but there were also 8 people in our community who had already been volunteering and assisting these newcomers who also came to the store. And uh, and there were, I believe, 8 of those individuals. So I got to meet them. Now, this is an incredible group. Our Facebook posts allowed me to show each of them the others that have come to Thunder Bay, because unfortunately, there's no way of getting a list and pulling these people together. And they are so desperate in terms of making new connections here in our community. And I can't imagine that they're going to be there and saying, hey, I'm new. Hello, how are you? It's really those of us who I think need to reach out. So it was wonderful to meet these individuals. Oh my goodness, the talent among this group. There are people with in this group with their PhDs or almost completed PhDs in psychiatry, in medical radio physics. We have an architect. We have someone who's an economist, someone who is bookkeeping, accountant, people who are just coming with. Think about it. Canada did not invest a nickel in their education, but here we have people with incredible talent and a huge appreciation for the opportunity that Canada has offered them, which is simply, and I want to be clear, these are not considered refugees, it was pointed out to me, which is a different sort of status. What people were granted were a visa to come to Canada that needed to be approved, and $3,000 that would go towards startup, which may be first and last month's rent, and uh, and a work permit. And my goodness, people were coming here. People had been here for just a couple of days and had already started a job. And people are coming from Ukraine here ready to work, so appreciative for the opportunity that Canada has offered them. And they are so appreciative for what people have uh, done for them thus far in Thunder Bay. They had no expectations of being welcomed this way. And, Thunder Bay, just think about it. Our population numbers are in decline. We need workers. I'm hopeful that this might spawn a new wave of immigration here to Thunder Bay for that would bring very talented, appreciative, hardworking people whose English is amazing. And I have learned, people have asked, Diane, like, what's the app that I was introduced from a couple of these gals? An app, it's called Google Translate. You can download it on your phone. Whether you want to speak to someone in Ukrainian or they speak to you in Ukrainian and English, or wherever you may be traveling. It's you just select the language, and it is quite amazing. I could speak into uh, the app in English, and it can speak out or in Ukrainian, or it could write it. It's quite amazing. So take a look at that. It's called Google Translate. That's something I've learned that is just basically, for me, meant, oh my goodness, I could travel anywhere in the world, or speak to anyone. It sometimes doesn't get it exactly right, so you got to be a little bit careful. But that was a great learning tip for me. And write that down, everyone. Um, Let me see. What else is so being able to meet these incredible people, and for me to um, have to think back into my early years where I heard my grandparents speak Ukrainian to us. My parents do speak it fluently, but we hardly ever speak it. So this is where I will say to people, "Я балакаю трошка українськи." Did you get that? It means I speak very little Ukrainian, and that just broke the ice. And so, with perhaps broken English, me saying that just allowed them to also feel comfortable in sharing with me their English, whatever the level was. So I'm learning a little bit of Ukrainian that way as well. I've already had invitations. So once the war is won, that I am welcomed for a visit. So our family immigrated, grandparents, maybe about 95 years ago, and no one in our family has ever returned. I may be the first in our family in that many years, two or more, to visit the Ukraine. At least that's on my bucket list. So now that whole process of getting us to the mall and back to the mall took a lot of prep work, and everything that got packaged up and organized on either end had to be physically moved. And for that, I really do appreciate the great work and the friendly service done by Smart Muscles Moving. So had a great experience with them. And it's not just moves that they'll do. You might need a piano. Well, it is a move. Say you want to get a piano to somebody else's place, they would pick that up and do that too. And yeah, so that was really a fantastic. You can see how many people were involved to make that pop-up store function as it did. Now that I'm back here, is there a noticeable difference in terms of how much stock we have here? There's still quite a bit, but it is compacted here. So I'm not sure that I have any plans on turning it into what looks like a regular store in the near future. What I'm going to do is take a bit of a pause. I am just this evening decided, though, you know what? I'm going to do a regular Shop with Diane show next Thursday at 7. So get ready to do some shopping. Spring is coming. Easter is coming. I have a few new products that are just arrived today because from one of our suppliers, because some of you on an earlier show ordered from me downwash, because it is time coming up soon that you'll want to be washing your down coats and maybe down comforters as well. And I also have a product called Pro Wash, should your winter coat be filled with some synthetic fiber fill. So I have those, but I don't have them processed yet, but that is just came through the door today. In that package, in the box that came today, I had also ordered some ponchos, rain ponchos that could double as a tarp. Those sold out very quickly last spring, not just from our store, but also from the supplier. So when I saw those available this time, I thought I better get those in. And some other interesting products. What I'm going to do though is doing a Shop with Diane show. The real objective moving forward is to free up some time, so I might have more limited pickup times than I have in the past. And but I know you'll follow along with that. So next Thursday, it's going to be a Shop with Diane show, which is going to be um, a sort of a prelude to Easter, because we have some Easter is, can you believe it? It's on Sunday, April the 9th. That's coming up pretty quickly. And but before that, what's coming up if you're wanting to get the feeling of spring and gardens ahead is the Spring Home and Garden Show at the CLE that's happening March 31st, April 1st, and April 2nd. And I've been thinking perhaps what I might do in the future is attend again as an exhibitor some of these shows, but this one coming up is a little too quick from our big pivot to and from the intercity shopping center. So that's going to get you in the spring mood. I did my very first day off from the mall. Did get some of my hyacinth bulbs in water, hoping to have some of them bloom before Easter. That's something that a couple of years ago I started to do. Do you remember when we're all locked down and it was just really, really used every tool in the toolkit to try to keep our mental health as positive as we could. And it was looking for projects such as this. So what I did the last few years is in the fall purchase some spring bulbs, and knowing that I would put them in the refrigerator, and after several weeks, take them out and just in water, but getting those growing and blossoming. So I'll keep you posted on our Facebook posts in regards to that. What else can I tell you about an update? So on a personal note, yeah, it's been so long that I have been to the hairstylist. I kind of feel that COVID, when we went with all of us without a visit for a hair appointment, it allowed our hair to get long and shaggy and multicolored. It seems to have worked back then for me, but it has been way too long. So I don't have an appointment yet, but I will be making one very soon. Need to do a little spring house cleaning as well, get my taxes done. Remember, tax time is coming up. And I still have to mop up some of the final things from that insurance claim that was last April. Twice the basement flooded here, and it was not until it was in November before the basement got put back together, not organized, but just the drywall back up and the walls painted. So there's a lot of cleanup work to be done here. I'm in no hurry to unwrap or unbox the items that came back from the mall. So unfortunately, if you're saying, hey, Diane, can you find that one thing? Give me some time, because I have no idea which box and where things are going to go. So, but I will be back next Thursday for a regular Shop with Diane show. Anybody have any comments or questions that you'd like answered? Please, in the comment section, let it be known, and I'll try to respond to that this evening. So I think I sort of covered off a bit of an update on what we have been up to on this end. As many of you know, I have the questions I'm being asked is, Diane, are you going to hang on to the building that you're in? Yes, I am, for the time being. It's a building that I put blood, sweat, and tears and love into getting renovated, an addition put on, and then picking up the property next door to it and turning this into what I call as our clubhouse for those kind-hearted, intelligent, lovely, social people to get together. But the carrying costs for this are significant, so I do need to find a revenue stream or two or three to help cover the expenses for it. So I am motivated to get something happening, but it has to be profitable. So break even would be a good thing in normal times, but I definitely need to pick up a revenue stream. Since I said hello to folks last, we have Anne joining us, who's just finished her workout, and Beverly as well as Cy. So hello to all of you. Thank you so much for joining in. I don't see any questions coming in. You're just wanting me to keep talking without a script. Is that it? I think I checked off all the boxes in terms of offering thanks to all of you and those who might not be tuned in for having made this winter help go by very quickly. It seems like a blur, but I do feel re-energized, and it has been wonderful waking up the last couple of mornings without having to have everything organized so that I could leave the house in the morning and not return until the evening, and being at the mall. Also, I love to be in some quiet space, and even though we didn't have music playing at our store in the mall, there was always you could hear the music out of the mall and the activity and the hum of the electrical equipment and so on there. But the space that I'm in here is bright, and it is, when I need it to be quiet, it's very quiet, and that really helps with the type of thinking work that I need to do, as well as the creative ideas. And Sai is looking forward to my new creations and marketing ideas. Yeah, the experience of going to the mall as well has given me some ideas on possible marketing opportunities and partnership opportunities, maybe with some other businesses. And yeah, I'm out for hire, but I'm not cheap. Okay. I get stuff done, and I get stuff done quickly. I think I've proven to folks, and creatively, and have a lot of fun. So I will be looking for some revenue streams to help with the costs. And I'm really looking forward to, as I said, building out the live stream shopping part of the business. I recently read an article that really spoke about how live stream shopping is expected to explode in the coming year. And I want to be, having put in a lot of the groundwork, I want to be a player moving forward. So stay tuned. And thank you for being part of this 26-year plus journey. Or if you're just joining us recently, the more the merrier. So welcome. We don't know where the future is taking us, but we want to be part of creating that great future. So good night, everyone. Please don't forget to, after the show, give it a heart, a thumbs up, share it, leave comments. Those are all things that really helps us in this world of social media. And as I've been saying, thank you to you. What we are able to do is demonstrate to the world very much that social media can be used for the good. And it's all the comments that I see coming in are always so positive. So keep up that great work. And I will do some Facebook. I'll reach out to some of you about, or give me a call. How's that? If you are looking for some of the down wash, and you just need to get into doing washing your down coat, or if it can wait for a couple of weeks, I'm good with that too. So good night, everyone. And don't forget to tune in next Thursday, 7 o'clock, for a real episode of Shop with Diane. Good night.